carried to all parts of your body with the help of your heart. Your lungs exchange oxygenated and deoxygenated air. Your stomach digests your food and your skin protects your body. And all these are carried out in a coordinated manner, right? Likewise, plants have different parts with different functions. Each small part of the plant plays a vital role in making the plant survive. But the fact is that each part of the plant is made up of specialized cells and tissues. In this video, we will be learning about plant anatomy and associated cells. For effective functioning, cells that perform the same functions are seen in an area and they have the same origin, and we call them as tissues. So, here you need to note down 2 points to learn. One is that the tissue has the same origin, and the other point is that they have the same function. So, based upon the dividing capacity, the plant tissues are classified into meristematic and permanent tissues. We grow as a response to the growth hormone, right? And what is in the case of plants? Any idea? If you carefully examine a plant in your garden, you will notice that only some parts of the plant grows, and it is the region with high cell division, and we call them as meristems. Interestingly, each meristematic region has unique names. So let us check the different meristems now. First is the apical meristem. It is a meristem that occurs at the tips of shoots and roots and produces the primary tissues. Next, we will understand which part of the plant is an axillary bud. The buds which are present in the axils of the leaves, as you can see on the screen, and they are responsible for forming branches or flowers, and they are the axillary buds. The next kind of meristem is the intercalary meristems, and it is the meristem which are found in between the nodes and helps to increase the internodal length, and they occur in the mature area of the plant. We can club apical and intercalary meristems as the primary meristem. So, why are they known as the primary meristem? Here is the answer. They are seen in the early stages of the plant growth, and they are responsible for the primary plant growth. Specific regions of the apical meristem produce dermal tissues, ground tissues, and vascular tissues. And it is during the formation of the primary plant body only. The another kind of meristem is the lateral or the secondary meristem. I hope you can relate to the presence of lateral meristems. Yes. Where are they located? They are seen in the mature regions of the plant. So, what is so special about this meristem? They are cylindrical. Let us now check a few examples of these meristems. So, shoot apex and the root apex are the two common examples of apical meristem. Grasses and cereal plants are the examples for intercalary meristems. Cork cambium and interfascicular cambium are the examples for lateral meristems. So that's all about the simple tissues. Our body grows uniformly to a certain age group. But in the case of plants, there are specialized cells which helps in the growth and the other functions of the cell. And they are generally known as permanent cells or simply mature cells. Now, let us focus on the permanent tissues. So, you got to know one feature, that is, permanent tissues do not have the capacity to divide. Based on the cell structure, these permanent tissues are classified into simple tissues and complex tissues. Then, how will you define simple tissues? They are permanent tissues having all the cells similar in structure and function. They are the permanent tissues having all cells similar in structure and the functions. First, let us list a few examples of tissues one by one. Parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma are the kind of simple tissues. Imagine that you are shown a transverse section like this and you are allowed to identify the parenchyma cells from these. And how will you identify it? For that, you have to know its structure, right? Parenchyma cells have different shapes. They are typically isodiametric cells. And another feature is that this cell is more abundant in plants other than cells. Just out of curiosity, let me ask you a question. Which tissue is the most abundant cell in human body? Just think. Yes, it is the connective tissue. So coming back to the plant kingdom, let us learn more about the living parenchyma cells. They have a thin cell wall made up of cellulose. Sometimes they can be seen as closely packed structures, or there will be some walls of cellulose with spaces between the cells, and they are known as intercellular spaces. The cell encloses the large cytoplasmic region with a large vacuole and a nucleus, as you can see in this diagram. And the major functions involve photosynthesis, secretion of substances as well as storage. The next type of simple tissues is the collenchyma tissues. Living collenchyma cells also vary in shape. They may be oval, spherical or polygonal cells. And this layer also contains chlorophyll pigments. You can see that the corner of these cells are often thicker than the parenchyma cells. Do you know the reason behind it? It is due to the deposition of cellulose, hemicellulose and pectin. And where are they seen? In dicots, they are seen in the hypodermal region, that is below the epidermis. And in case of monocots, they are absent. They are also isodiametric cells made of chloroplast. If you observe this image closer, you will see that there are no spaces between the cells, isn't it? Let us now point out the different functions of collenchymatous tissue. In the presence of chloroplast, they assimilate food. They provide mechanical support to the growing parts of the plant. Is the collenchyma tissue part clear for you? If yes, let us now study the last kind of simple tissue, that is the sclerenchyma tissue. Sclerenchyma is found in the mature parts of the plant. They are generally specialized cells. The presence of lignin and the absence of protoplasm are the other features of these cells. So, what do they look like? As you can see in this image, they have a long, narrow cells that are usually dead in nature. Now, let us check its different types. Sclerenchyma is of two types named fibers and sclerids. So, now you can point out the features of the fibers first. Fibers are lignified, thick-walled, elongated and pointed cells generally occurring in groups in various parts of the plant. Sclerids are spherical, oval or cylindrical structures. They have a highly thickened cell walls with very narrow cavities, Now the question is, where are they found? They are found on the fruit walls of nuts, pulp of guava and sapota, and the seed coats of legumes and leaves of tea. Can you guess the kind of function they provide to the plant? Yes, you are right. They provide the mechanical support to the plants. Let's put a breakpoint here for the simple tissues. Then, next, let us concentrate on the complex tissues. What kind of tissues are these? They are permanent tissues having many different types of cells. Xylem and phloem constitute the complex tissues in plants. So, we will start to learn more about xylem. Both xylem and phloem are vascular or conductive tissues that helps in the transportation of water and food to different parts of the plant. So xylem is composed of several elements. Let us check one by one. Tracheids, xylem vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers are the different elements. So let us study each one in detail. Tracheids and xylem vessels are thick lignified walled, long tube-like structures made of dead cells without protoplasm that allows the transportation of water and minerals vertically within the plant. The vessel is also a long tube-like structure with vessel membranes with lignified walls and a large central cavity. So, what is the function of tracheids? Transportation of water and mineral in a unidirectional way. That is a function. That is, xylem transports water and mineral contents vertically from roots to leaves and not vice versa. Next, coming to xylem parenchyma. Xylem parenchyma is a living part of the xylem and it is thin-walled. The cell walls are made up of cellulose. It helps to store food, materials and in the sideway conduction of water. So, how do they store food particles? They store food in the form of starch or fat or as tannins. Another kind of parenchymatous cell is the ray parenchymatous cells. The radial conduction of water takes place by the ray parenchymatous cells. Next, coming to xylem fibers, they are the last element of xylem and are dead cells with thick cell walls. They provide mechanical supports to the plant. They have obliterated central lumens. These may either be septate or aseptate. So, let me ask you a question. Are there any type of other xylem cells? Yes, indeed. Let us now check the different types of xylem now. So, the primary xylem is of two types, that is protoxylem and metaxylem. So, let us try to define each terms now. The first formed primary xylem elements are called the protoxylem and the later formed primary xylem is called the metaxylem. Based on the position of the protoxylem, the xylem is classified into endark and exarch. Here you can see that the structures of endark and exarch. In stems, the protoxylem lies towards the center. Okay, and that is the pith region, and the metaxylem lies towards the periphery of the organ. And this type of primary xylem is called endark. In roots, the protoxylem lies towards the periphery. You can see the protoxylem towards the periphery region, right? And the metaxylem towards the center. Such arrangement of the primary xylem is called exarch. Now, let us learn more about phloem. Phloem is a complex permanent tissue made up of 5 types of phloem elements. I have given them in tabular column. That is, you can see different types of elements. That is, sieve cells, sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. All marked in green, that is, sieve cells, sieve tubes, companion cells and phloem parenchyma are living cells, while the phloem fiber marked in brown shade are of dead cells. It is easy to remember, right? Next, they are responsible for the transportation of food from leaves to all other parts of the plant. Next, coming to the sieve tubes. Sieve tubes are tubular living cells with perforated walls, and what is its function? Sieve tubes helps in the transportation of carbohydrates and organic substances. The function of sieve tubes are controlled by the nucleus of the companion cells. Companion cells are living cells and provide energy for the activities of phloem and also maintain the pressure gradient in the sieve tubes. Based on the size of these sieve tubes, Phloem cells are again classified into protophlloem and metaphlloem. Now, let us check their features now. If the sieve tubes are narrower in primary phloem, we call them protophlloem, whereas older phloem cells with bigger sieve tubes are termed as metaphlloem. Phloem fibers are known as bast fibers that provide mechanical support. So we can say that these cells are of sclerenchymatous type. The peculiarity is that these cells are found only in secondary phloem. We have seen the general features, but what do they look like? Let us check. These cells are elongated, unbranched cells and have pointed, needle-like apices with thick cell walls. So, are they living cells? No. At maturity, these fibers lose their protoplasm and become dead. You can see that phloem fibers have some commercial uses also. Let us check those uses. They are used as jute, flax and hemp. And finally, phloem parenchyma. They have elongated, tapering cylindrical cells with dense cytoplasm and nucleus. The cell wall is composed of cellulose and it has got pits through which the plasmodesmatal connections exist between the cells. What is the peculiarity of these cells? These cells store starch, fats, resins and latex. And this phloem parenchyma is absent in monocots, which means that they are seen only in dicots. So far, we have discussed the different types of tissues. Do the structure and function differ according to each part of the plant body? Let us discuss it in coming video. Now, let us summarize what we have learned.
Manorama Horizon. Learning made simple.